Iceland may be looking outwards, but it's also had to look inwards. We may all be created differently in this world, but on this isolated island, that's not so much the case. There hasn't been much immigration here, and that means that there's not as much genetic diversity as there is on larger land masses. Go back just a few generations, and most Icelanders will find that they're related to each other. So, it's the same old story. Boy meets girl, girl likes boy, girl and boy bump smartphones. Girl's app checks if she's too closely related to the boy. App says no, so go for it. Ingebjörg Rosa is one Icelander who's found new ways to use this app to avoid, shall we say, embarrassing situations.
It's very convenient to look up the guys you meet when you're maybe downtown, you see a cute guy or you meet someone really interesting. Yeah, look him up there and see whether he's related to you or not.
And how closely related is too closely related?
Third cousin, I would say.
Third cousin?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to marry your third cousin and have babies with him, would you?
Okay, so third cousin is just for...
Yeah. Fourth cousin is fine.
The fourth cousin is fine?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. After all, this is Iceland.
What embarrassed.
All the information for the app comes from the nation's genealogy records. Called the Book of Iceland, it's a serious endeavour. Pretty accurate written records go back to 1703. The book allows people here to discover exactly how they're linked to almost anyone else from Iceland. In the past, the population has dipped to just 30,000 here, so there's useful information dating back over 1,000 years. The boss of DNA analysts Decode told me that this database is helping us to understand many conditions across the world, like schizophrenia, diabetes, and many cancers.
There is a so-called founder effect in Iceland, which means that we can trace everyone who has a particular disease to a relatively few individuals who lived a few centuries back. So the reason for a disease is very likely to be the same in most people in Iceland who have the disease.
A large section of the population here has given blood to the firm to help it assist research globally.
Now, once these samples are taken, they're not just kept for weeks or even months. It makes sense to keep them for as long as is possible for research or pattern matching that might happen years in the future. And that's why the blood of Iceland ends up here in this biobank of 500,000 samples, the oldest of which was taken 15 years ago. And the reason that even that sample is still good today is that the temperature in here is minus 26 Celsius. Or as Icelanders call it, mild.
So, as the robots continue to serve up these samples, hopefully those discovering their personal connections to each other won't get such a frosty reception.